social capital is like a third place. So the first place is our home. Second place is our workplace or our school, which we feel like at home. So third place is, for example, is like this clubhouse, playgrounds, parks. So these can be recreational areas, and it helps the subdivision to have identity or center of the subdivision. It will it will help the community to socialize. So lastly is for aesthetics. So the Lindgren have Scandinavian themed homes. It is a theme that appeals to mass, not just in the country. So choosing it for a luxury subdivision is appropriate. So second is streetscape. So for this picture, you can see the trees are high canopy, so you can see the houses. It does not block the entrance, and it is spaced. The minimum, I think, or the appropriate is 10 meters, and there is a it follows a setback. So if we follow setback, we can have a wide gap between the two rows of houses. So we can visibly see how the houses looks like, and we can appreciate the design of the subdivision. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much. Can you show again the site development plan? I just have a few questions because it's hindi siya klaro sa screen. And by the way, pwede ra mo magbinisaya kung maglisod jud mo storya. But you're doing well. So kay balo ka unsa ni mga colors, what they mean? Kaning orange, the yellows, the reds. Hello Hazel, nakamute biya ka just in case.
Hello, sir.
Aha. So they have like the names of the model houses.
Yes, sir.
So it's like Dahlia is one design of a single detached. So all of them are single detached. Three
Yes, sir.
probably means 3 floors. Three
Yes, sir.
SD.
A two-story single detached, sir.
Yeah, ang 3
Two
SD.
SD. A three-story single detached, sir.
So puro siya ko ano single detached. And na
Yes,
kay
sir.
kuan, does this brochure contain the model houses, how
Yes,
they
sir.
look like? Tanaw data. So these are the
Yes, it is.
Scandinavian type. So this is Dahlia. Okay. Hmm. Tanaw daw tatong 3-story. Kini. This is 3-story. Amazing. Okay, so I was hoping na so puro day siya single detached, so sayang. We could have gotten an idea kung dun sa niya akong pag-arrange if it were not um, single detached tanan. But which of these models are the most expensive? Would you know? Or does it show? Maybe the biggest?
Yes, sir.
Which
Three
which
story.
one ang 3 stories? Let's look at the site dev again. on where the three stories are placed. So three stories are the pale something and then the green. So okay.
So here, sir, sa taas.
And also this one, no, along the road, along
Sir.
the main road. Okay. Um, sige. So we'll go next to the. I'll give my comments later. We'll go to the next. Magkuha na lang ta, alphabetical. Wala. Kita may sunod sa alphabetical. Si Justin about Christina North.
Yes, sir.
Yes, you can share anytime. Predicate.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Christina is Talisay. Yeah. What Christina? The
Yes,
developer
sir.
is Avoidis Land.
Litong sound
Okay,
na siya.
itaw na siya.
Pwede na ni-delay i-fall, sir. Ay,
Ah,
tara.
na.
So, ang ako aday, sir, kay Christina North. So, ah, kani mo ni siya ang whole map sa Christina North. Then, Christina North is a 32.5 hectare na subdivision which is far more bigger sa subdivision na sa plate karon. So, it is a fully integrated development at Northern Cebu in Talamban. Talamban day siya, sir. And then Pristina North is approximately 32.5. Then na siya ay 300 to 400 square meters na lot, and then ranges from 500 to 700 sads. So uh muna siya, sir, this is like the amenities niya is na siya celebration hall, refreshment or coffee shop, clubhouse, 20-meter lap pool which is placed here na part. And then it also has pool for kids, outdoor basketball court, and playgrounds, gazebo, and patio garden. Then it also has commercial spaces. So, so I will go directly na lang sa iyahang safety, health and well-being, then aesthetics. So, if first is safety. So, each house faces the road. So, uh, I heard this discussion sa planning na if the house should face the road para if there's coming someone na person or something is makakita ra ka. So here, and then it has a limited entry. So the entry niya is here sa iyang main gate sa front, and then it also has a way. There is a, if I'm not mistaken, usara day ang entry diri. I think unit ni siya. There is a place sa back. And then sa based sa planning na kung kuan is diri sa iyahang plan gali wala siya murag empty space behind sa lot, which is kanang mura gali siya dead space na dili mabantayan. So you can see na wala jud siya murag empty space every like backyards nila. And then so there is a guardhouse for monitoring people in and out. So you can also see sa iyahang uh, roads or streets niya is interconnected siya. though na siya terminating point where ang kaning mga diri, but if you're going to look at it sa iyang plan, gubot siya tanawon, but if ari siya like sa without the kaning nga ni units is murag ang ihang road is hapsay raman sad siya, and then they're connected to avoid, let's say, kanang inactive na places ba, and then for health and well-being. So there are social places and amenities within the subdivision. It is for both functional events and entertainment. Then it has walkable streets, sad, and then it has a lot of green spaces, sad sa yung mga pavements. And then aesthetics. So although given with a very irregular lot, the planners managed to maximize the spaces, and also yeah, parts of saya aesthetics is the amenities na given niya. And then here is the outer crescent. So ang kaning focus ani na mga kani siya kani kung gipakita is diri ni siya na part here, wait, here the outer crescent, and then the next is the townhouse flat. So medyo blurry ra ba siya from the website, but ari na siya na part here, na part townhouse kani mga yellow, also here. And then inner crescent na ground floor plan, which is kani inner crescent kani siya. So that's all. Thank you.
Okay. Pwede niyo ipakita balik tong kuan, tong site dev. Sorry han, exit na ka. But can you show it again? Katong crescent na site ka na siya.
Can you see?
Because here napansin ako, gi-specify niya kung asa gibutang ang mga row house.
Yes.
I think there's a duplex kining orange or
Yes.
kining reddish orange. Pero ang light orange is like the townhouse. There are two
The
types of
yellow.
townhouses. Uh, so ang crescent, what does that mean? Crescent upper murag flats, apartments, or a condominium, or say
Murag
ko na sumot.
mura siya grow house, sir. Then curving siya na row house na.
Okay. Curving a row house. Okay, so going back to the site dev. So ang curving a row house, instead of making it the murag the list of all the types, mo hinoy murag gihimo niyang murag gihimo niyang sa tawag ani, murag main attraction niya.
Yes,
And
sir.
then ipatunga niya ang mga duplex and then around ang townhouses. So na siya cul-de-sac, which is well, at least dili kayo daghan ang houses going inside the cul-de-sac, no? But this is the guardhouse, no, to the lower to lower
Yes, sir.
left.
Yes,
Pero
sir.
napay other guardhouse dito sa unahan for the whole development,
Wala ra
because
ba?
you also have that that roundabout kanang nasa left. Oops. Kaya nasa left. Oops, may saka. Wow.
Kini, sir.
So kanang nasa, well, no, kanang left pa jud. Ang pinahog mo na siya ang guardhouse. Dili di ay.
This
Left to
one,
the
sir.
circle. So you have this roundabout, di ba? Murag
Oh,
lingin. To the left of that,
asa ni, sir?
to the asa may left uy. Uy,
Left.
kana
Ah,
left ba? Left mo na sa inyo ha siguro. So
yes, sir.
I think that is also a guardhouse.
Hmm, pero ang sa ilang website sir kay mao man ni ang ilahang main na
Okay.
guardhouse.
So probably murad ko ani siya kining naay-laing development before the subdivision. Um,
Hmm,
I think it's like a country development mode. So anyway, it's a complicated project. So siyempre 30 hectares. Or was it 30 hectares?
32
So
sir.
32. So ang ato is gamay ra mga kiniran ko an. Kiniran tumoy-tumoy dire. Okay, so sige, thank you very much. So we go to the next
Thank you sir.
Rafael, Amara
Yes, sir.
subdivision.
Nakoy pangutana
Unsa man?
kanang wala sana nakoy mga kailangan ganahan maminaw since wa sila nagklase ron.
Um okay ra mo sulod
Oh, maminaw ra
minaw.
sila.
Minaw sila nimo. Kanina unta to dapat na kuan
Karon
na
ba
miss
sila
nando ka
niingon?
presentation.
Ah,
Okay ra man.
sige ako
So
sundan og di.
Pwede ako na
buhaton
lang
sa
una, sir.
nimo.
Masaya
Sige,
mang.
sige.
Okay, si Miro mo na.
Pwede ako mauna, sir.
Okay ra. Okay ra nimo, Rafael?
Pero sir, papud
I
ko pa
guess.
set up.
Take your time.
Okay, sir.
Sakita ra
Ma-present
man.
ako, sir.
Yes. Yeah. So yours is Shanta. Nabi okay project dia. Anyways.
Okay, sir. I'll present now, sir. Can you see my presentation, sir?
Yes, it's up. It's on.
So, good afternoon. So, what I'm about to present is Kishanta subdivision, which is located in Lagtang, Talisay, Cebu City. So, for the property description, it's a 28-hectare community, and it centers around the principles of Zen. It's a Zen and tropical theme. First, initially, it was a 15-hectare community with over 100 units, but then it expanded in 2009 to over 28 hectares already due to consumer demand as well as value appreciation. So as you can see, this is the project development. In over 2007, it's a 15-hectare community, and then expanded to 2009. It's added with 12.9 hectares. So into 2021, it's all occupied already, all the residences, with a total of over 633 houses and lots. So for the house design, these are the designs. You can see that they are all single detached and only differ in terms of stories. And for the last, you can see that it's multi-level since
Excuse
the
me,
site
Neil.
since the site
Yeah,
is actually
murag wala nag-move ang imuhang slides. Right there. It's moved. Okay.
oh sorry. Okay, so since the site is actually sloping, pero I won't get into that more. So the last house is actually multi-level, but however, there are different kinds of house designs. I think there's a total of six or five. And then next for the design issues, I will be tackling design issues in primarily safety, human, and aesthetics issues. So firstly, I will show you the project map first. This is the overall site development map of the um, site. As you can see that there are uh, allocation of spaces intended for the users, and then the vicinity map. So it's in the corner of around the Tabunok flyover. You can see that,
Wala
and
po
then
siya nag-move, Neil.
hello,
Yeah, there.
here you can see.
Murag
And,
delay.
okay, sir, sorry. So next is for the safety. So the site conditions, the lot covers 28 hectares of open land with over 633 lots with no surrounding structures. So it's similar with the design brief we have, since it's open also, it's open land. and for the security, for countermeasures for safety and security and instances of criminal activity. So, lastly, is emergency assessment, emergency response, and medical aid. So, the safety solutions are firstly, the site was actually chosen primarily also because of its soil conditions. That's why, after deliberate soil tests conducted by the planners, they found that it's actually preferable to build there since the the site itself is stable, even if it is a hill condition or even if it's in a sloping condition. So that's why they adapted to it. And for the foundations, they usually used spread footing as the structural support. They also widened the road in order to give access to the community. Next, for the addition of security, for the safety solution again, security is assured with a perimeter fence, 24/7 security services, and closed circuit television cameras mounted in strategic locations. And not to mention, there are also rotational shifts of guards that travel within one place. So basically, they oversee things and see if everyone is safe and everyone is um, h- uh, if they have any needs in case they want to access something or use something in the residence or in the subdivision. Next is in case of emergencies. So in the site itself, there are actually provisions of spaces for in case of emergencies, such as an open space with reinforced foundations and none or minimal electric posts. So basically, if in terms of emergencies such as earthquakes and fires, these spaces are actually the primary place residents can go to. So there's also a provision for a clinic which can quickly respond to the and accommodate residents. Next, for health, is firstly you have convenient access in terms of road distances and transportation, facilities in terms of positioning and adjacency of spaces, human activity in terms of functional activities and social relationships. So, firstly, for the health solution, in the map plan, you can see that Kishanta is actually very far from the main road or from the Tabunok Toledo Road. So you can see that in order to access it, you would need to ride a tricycle to reach to the from the street in to the flyover crossing. And inside the subdivision, motorcycle taxis can transport you to a street depending on which neighborhood you live on. So this also helps the revenue for people there in order for them to develop their own livelihoods. So, but since the subdivision is actually quite high end, residents actually don't have any problems in terms of accessing transportation since they all have their own personal cars or transportation. Next is the amenities included in the subdivision. So since it is a Zen-inspired um, residence, it has its own clubhouse, infinity pool, children's playground, basketball court, even since it was expanded, they included a herbal garden, meditation area, and of course the clinic. There's also a fitness trail and tree park, and also a 2 hectare nature corridor with a view park with outdoor activity. There's also a picnic grove, as you can see here, and a view deck and a pavilion. So it's also very um, smart for the designers to utilize these amenities because it attracts the viewers, it attracts the users, and also provides the spaces which the users primarily need. It's also fully completed with side utilities, which includes road networks, drainage and sewage systems, electricity and water facilities, and even detention ponds and a material recovery facility, which you have observed in um, the site development plan. So next is here the health solution again in order to assess the problem of what was that social interaction. So basically, there's a lot of spaces where the community can relax and also have a fun time. So basically, these spaces um, are very useful in maintaining um, a peaceful experience as well as keeping uh, keeping the users active in terms of their social life. And with not to mention the view is also quite nice there, so they maximized it to its potential. Next, for the aesthetics. So in terms of aesthetics, I'm going to discuss the theme, the form, and marketing. So for the aesthetic solution, firstly, we know that the theme is a fusion of the essence of Zen and values of tropical design. So it's actually very useful in promoting um, a very unique experience, since it is a holistic approach of life in a tropical setting. So there is thoughtful use of light and space, breezes that calm, clean and simple lines, lush greenery, and inspiring views, which contribute to overall wellness of a person and the community. So next is, again, this is the house design, which is the theme was also incorporated into the house design. So I think in the planning of the site, it's all just open lots. However, as if you purchase a lot, you would actually be asked if what kind of house you would want to choose. So since in the project itself, I will just state this nga, since it's sloping man, kay they added na lang pod nga adjustments for sloping conditions, which is a multi-level house. So they have really thought about it to the extent jud. So next, for the aesthetics na pod, the subdivisions form and layout provided a clear system of organization. So it's very smart for the planners and designers to actually lay out the plan ahead of time. So what they did was, in order to create a sense of community, the center of the subdivision was the clubhouse, wherein residents could conveniently access, utilize, and socialize with one another through the amenities of the subdivision, such as the clubhouse, infinity pool, children's playground, basketball court, mini convenience store, and spa. So basically, the residents are actually obtaining the services they have paid to in uh, the residence they live in. So it's very useful and very necessary for them to utilize these structures because they actually paid for it. So in the end, it was very helpful for them. So this is the marketing. Since it's actually a component of Aboitiz land, there are very many advertisements of which is being shown in both in online market in terms of online marketing and also in house listings. So they show this kinds of advertisements. So in the end, um, it actually helped in expanding the lot overall, since there was a great significance in value appreciation, which helped the developers um, think of the idea that we could expand this much more. So that's all. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Actually, Ishanta has the advantage of the views, no, because it's on top of a hill or a mountain. Um, but we don't have that here in our plate. So if strategy wise, design strategy. So if you cannot look out kay kuan, walay nindot na view pagawas. So dapat you should create a view inside. So you should be able to look in, which is what's happening in our case in our project. So you should be able to create that. But anyway, I think dili tanan part sa Krisanta murag house and lot ang pagpalit because um, may part siya na murag lot lang or maybe murag it's an option, no, because naka-design yung kog balay diya. So uh, that means katong akong client only bought the lot, no. um, in any case, when I went over their koan, um, their deed of restriction kung say pwede kung say dili bias la kayo stricto, unlike Northtown homes. um, and to my surprise, wala sila namugos na murag zen ang design. So wala sa kasulatan, no. Although murag the architects themselves murag sila na lang ang murag adapt na murag follow a zen design, whatever that is, no. murag kanya-kanyang interpretation because I think Zen was the main theme of Ishanta. Okay, so Rafael, are you ready?
Yes, sir. Kanang sa phone na di ko mag-present kayo ako'y magamit. So I hope clear ra siya.
Okay, I hope so also.
Wait. Kita ra.
Yeah,
Di na ako
yes.
ma-landscape.
Dili mo landscape, sige. Mga taong ginauna.
So,
Pero sige, okay. We'll make do.
okay. So I'm going. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to be presenting the Amara subdivision, which is located in Liloan, Cebu, and also I'm going to be talking about the solutions to design issues. So a little bit of background of the Amara subdivision. Amara subdivision is a prime and high-end subdivision of Ayala land located in Liloan, Cebu. And as you can see in the background, this is an actual pic of the Amara subdivision. And from what I've nakakuha dari kay the planner did good, I did well in maximizing the view because if the site has a view to offer, the planner is responsible to figure out how to maximize good the view. So dari kay makita gini mga na maximize niya ang view. But since atong lot kay wala may view, pero ganahan ko atong gingon sir nga kuan magbotang na lag view from the inside kung walay view sa outside. So yeah. And also this is the 3D rendering of the Amara subdivision. And akong ma-focus diri kay ang aesthetics. Kay if makaingon jud ko if kung nagpuyo ko diri kay makaingon ko nga I'm proud to be living in this neighborhood kay nindot kay siya. And mana ako na think nga ang importance sa first impression ng sa aesthetics sa kuan subdivision is also important, and the planner really did good. And so let's take a look at the Amara subdivision map so that we can gain a better insight of how the planner got through the issues. So starting off with the shape of the lot, which our design plate can relate kanang irregular shape siya, like mo niya tong design plate. Uy, ug mo ni ang Amara subdivision medyo lahi siya og shape pero makarelate gyapon kay irregular niya. Ang shape niya kay semicircle, which is medyo lisod-lisod kay round yung edge, pero salamat na lang sa design plate nga site nga walay round edge. And so the planner really did great sa kuan. I feel like na solve niya ang kaning issue sa pagplan og irregular shape by placing the lots on the edge. Kaning kanang mga lots nga facing the seaside, which is ideal pod kay na nindot nga view sa sea. So that also ang vehicular circulation kay smooth rasad. I mean pag magtanaw ka sa mag-imagine ka mag-drive ka sa tibok subdivision kay smooth ra, and like I mean am gyapon traffic pero not that kuan bad. Kay the planner, I feel like the planner took note on that nga mas smooth pod ang traffic. And usually sa ang traffic sa mga subdivision kay naman na sa entrance ug exit. And so makita nimo nga na ay tulo ka passage sa from the entrance and exit. I mean, if duha ra ang passage sa entrance and exit, grabe gid nag-traffic. So, mo nang I feel like gitulo pod na sa designer para smooth ang traffic. And ma you can notice also nga there's no like awkward space or like unused wasted space tungod kay na-fill ang mga space with parks, which is very genius kay ang parks kay ideal sad sa mga subdivision since ang mga parks kay maka-promote og social interaction which is important sa mga subdivision and also ma-promote sad ang outdoor activities and kuan pa jud maka-provide pagig mga vegetation which makes the air of the environment breathable, which is kana ma-relate pod nato sa design plate nga site kay murag lisod kay di ko makaingon nga breathable ang sana kanang kuwang rag vegetation ang atong site. So ay kanang atong ma-learn diri kay mas ninjot jud og daghag vegetation para ma-compensate ang condition sa atong site. And also sa kadako sa lot separate pod niya ang parks, like the planner did not just put one but multiple parks around the subdivision para easy access pod sa mga residents and kanang accessibility pod kay important sabi na kanang mga non-saleable lots. So I guess that's it. Thank you for
Yeah.
listening.
Kan Rafael, katong sa kuan ba sa site dev niya. Kani maklaro ra nimo kung unsa to mga colors, unsay pasabutan ni mga colors. Mabasa ra nimo diha.
Yes sir, dili mabasa sa
Amay
presentation.
jud siya.
Kaning nasa
So,
right side,
yes, what do they mean?
feel like abi na feel na kay kuan na hierarchy sa kamahal sa house. Like mas
So
mahal ang
it's not on the house type na row house ba or duplex or
ID
single detached. So
ang
it's more of
nakabutang kay
unsay
Horizon
nakabutang.
Horizon Super Prime, Horizon Plus,
Ah,
Horizon Prime.
so it's murag house models, no? Yep, house models.
Yes sir.
Um okay. Actually here, if you notice there are two cul-de-sacs, no? On both sides of the main street na Nastunga. So a better way to design it would have been ning diretso jud na siya wala na cul-de-sac. Pero I think kining green na murag ning kuha ni siya open space na no, or is that
Asa
open space or kanang nag-connect sa cul-de-sac to the main street sa middle. Diba na kay duha ka cul-de-sac and then murag na kay lote na murag ning connect sa kanang street
ah
sa tunga. Is that open space or is that a lot na kuan with the house?
di mo na ma-zoom. Feel na open space, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's an open space. Um, I, well, ambot nga nung wala niya wala niya gi diretso na lang o kuan ba road. Because planning
Kuan
wise
kung
dapat
mao
road
po
na
na
siya.
akong question sir pero murag na answer ra ako kay feel na ko if magbutang og road diha kay mas grabe og traffic since unsa na daghag moagi nga cars if butngan pa na siya og road.
Actually, kay kuan naman sila raman pud ang naa diha. So mas accessible unta kay imagine to get to a lot diha sa cul-de-sac, one has to go all around rather than just turn left or turn right ana ba. Nana dayon siya sa iyang balay. Murag
Ah,
kuan mas
so mas
kay di ba na
preferable
yung
din nga both nga road.
yes, so it's really kuan ang the cul-de-sac is really murag to be avoided. Applicable lang siya like kanang gamay ra jud ayong ma-serve ng mga balay like one level lang. In fact, kaning
Mm.
murag sa ubos ani there's a small very small cul-de-sac. So, mga anak na type or maski mukuan pa siya gamay mo atras pero dili kayo not this far kaning na diri sa left side ng cul-de-sac. Okay, imagine kuan gud no. If I go to the orange houses na
Oo mo,
nasa left
kuan ka ka
side, mutuyok pa ko. So
pass
whereas
of
kung
the
nanay
hill.
road ng so immediately mo right left turn lang ko na ako sa akong balay. So it has something to do also with kung baka ng safety kung kinahanglan ka mo hawa nagitabang dadong sa
Ah,
ospital so motuyok pa ka. So layo na kayo. Anyway, so
ah,
thank you very much. So I see Alexandria here.
Sir,
Ma'am, are you
yes,
ready to
sir.
report?
Yes, sir. Wait, I'll
Okay,
go and open it.
murag imong Maryville subdivision sidingan sa atong plate. Actually kadtong Christina silingan pod pero unahan. Or gipalayo ni Justin sa Talisay o do Talamban ito. So anytime you're ready, okay napoy project diri pod sa una with a partner
So,
sa
is it
Maryville.
presenting na, sir?
Yes.
So, good afternoon. So, I am Alex Harial, and I'll be presenting about Maryville subdivision found in Talamban, Cebu. So, its developer is the Maria Luisa's Properties. So, Maryville subdivision is a 6-hectare high-end residential project that caters to the upper middle and middle income market, and it is developed and marketed in 1998 by the Agro Macro Development Corporation. And it is a rural residential area, and it is conveniently located just 10 minutes away from Gaisano Grand Mall, Robinson's Times Square, Sacred Heart School, and USC Talamban campus. And it is 5 minutes to Cebu International School, North General Hospital and Police Station, banks, and some commercial establishment. And it is a 20-minute drive away from Mandaue and Cebu. So the subdivision it has a flat terrain. So So this subdivision consists of lots averaging from 200 square meters, and it gives future owners the luxury of having the free hand in the design and construction of their houses. So it is a highly secured subdivision that prides itself on its centralized water system with 3 deep wells and 2 water tanks. So it is ideally situated in Talamban proper and conveniently located near malls and those other places that I mentioned before. So other descriptions are most houses are a two-story single detached homes, and the main access is through Talamban, Cebu City. Another gate is located at the side of North General Hospital along Barangay San Jose. So there are guardhouses in both the main entrance and the back gate. So in here, this is like the guardhouse is the main entrance. So you access the site through here. So next is the satellite view. Here it is the main access point to go to the whole subdivision. Next is so I will be tackling about the design issues, which are the safety, health, and the aesthetics. So for the security, so The subdivision is manned by security 24/7 by blue guards round the clock, and it is fully fenced. So I searched the Google ratings of this subdivision, and it shows that the security and safety of the place is top notch, and most ratings are satisfied with this system. And this is the street view of current guard house here. I mean the gate. And next is the health. So the facilities and amenities found in here is the clubhouse, tennis courts, parks and picnic spaces, imported playgrounds, comprehensive water drainage system, centralized water system with three deep wells, and then the tanks, basketball courts, wide roads, electricity, telephone and cable facilities, and it is accessible to many places and stores that is just um a just a few minute drive away. And for the convenience of its residents, Maryville subdivision features different amenities, and it only allows residential structures to be built inside, so the different types of pollution produced by commercial structures lessens inside the subdivision. So the aesthetics. So the site has a lot of parks, greenery, and vegetation everywhere, with it where it adds to the aesthetic factor of the subdivision. So again, it is a high-end subdivision with quality lots and houses. So over the course of decades, the real estate developer has stayed true to his mission as shown in its cleverly designed residences and projects. So it is Maria Luisa's properties, and this developer always displayed prudence in choosing the right location for its developments and getting the best professionals to create subdivisions that foster community living. So this is apparent when you visit Marble Subdivision in Talamban. So every detail has been carefully taken into consideration, leaving residents with a beautiful place that they can call home. So it is its environment, it has a quiet area in Talamban with mountains as a backdrop. So this subdivision fulfills the dreams of many residents. So it is a high-end property located in Talamban, and the MLD developer built and sell elegant houses and lot packages for sale that that has a right price and fair for buyers and investors. So one house and lot that is for sale in this site is this modern home that is a two-story single detached home, and another modern home that is also a two-story single detached home. So that's it for the Maryville subdivision.
Okay, so thank you very much.
Thank you,
Um,
sir.
ma-reveal murag almost similar sa atong site ang kuan,
It's
ang
actually next to our site.
conditions. Oh, kay puro kadaghanan two stories. But I think ang site development plan na ipakita magkaraan to siya no because daghan pa kayo for sale na lots. But then when you show the satellite photo, actually daghan na day ang mga nabaligya, nabalay. Okay,
Yes,
mo
sir.
comment ut ako ato because but what I remember about Maryville is the daghan siya pocket parks, pocket playgrounds, mga scattered. But wala ko ka adto sa ilang clubhouse if they have one. Pero di ko ganan sa street system niya kay na siya mga dead ends. So I'm not really a fan of dead ends. Kanina I saw Virgil coming in and out of the class. Pero wala siya karon. So anyways, since wala siya, I'll just go ahead with the paano ang akong gibuhat na I was trying to take down notes at first, but I started taking the notes towards the end of what of the Justin's report. Kay I thought that I could memorize everything, no? But then I could not. So see Hazel, if there's anything that I failed to write here because my memory failed me. Um, Suti lang ko no because sa security, so there are of course mentions about houses facing the street. We took that kung under sa akong planning, no? Um, and then so that's surveillance. Okay, and it is better if the open space is actually surveyed by more more houses, so more eyes. And then there's that emergency response, which is another feature about security and safety. No, um, for example, if there is a disaster, uh, okay, what happens? So is there anyone who can provide first aid in the in the subdivision itself? So the provision of clinic might be a good consideration. No? Of course, there is the guardhouse, and then there's also the mention of perimeter fence, and then there's also a mention of CCTV. Although sa planning, in our case, so di na siya mugawas. And then another something which Neil mentioned, he did not really say it's open space for evacuation, but it gave me an idea, no, that um, the open spaces should be dispersed so that murag i-zone po nimo siya in terms of evacuation. In what instances do you evacuate, no, your house? Siguro ang kuan, no, ang when there is a kuan, when there is earthquake. So I think after the duck something roll or so, what sa nang ko ano buhaton na to, the last is if we have the chance we go out, no, we go out of the building and then we go to an open space. So the open spaces become evacuation areas. This will also be used, for example, there are emergencies na say there's a fire, so diha pod mag-set up og kuan, no, first aid stations or sa ba kanang ang firemen would also be using that facility, that open space area. Then easy way well, no house fences, no, katong sa Lynn Green, katong kay Hazel, even sa Pristina, I don't notice any fences sa houses. And even the ones we designed sa Northtown before, um, wala man jud siya gi-require, and then some houses did not have fences. So, but then if you notice sa Kuan, Maryville, na well, gated jud ang tanan balay, no? Um, since Maryville is the one closest to our property, so that's an indication of the feelings of the residents in that area, which is a feeling of insecurity, so that to the extent that they have to gate themselves, okay? Because otherwise, if really murag pare atong sulti ni Rafael po na proud kay siya diri na, and probably he can you can also sense that you're so secured here that you don't need a fence. So okay, you can also do that, no? um, but I think the indication is we might need to put fences for each house, so that should be part of the design. um, Easy way finding is simply kanang kuan, no, dili ka mawala sa sarili mong subdivision, or if you have to ask someone to go there, it's very easy to give a direction, okay? And then if for example mangutan na ka sa guard, asa maning balay ni kuan akong bisitaon, and then when he gives a direction, it's not something na murag malipong ka, no. So it's easy. So um, and that's part of security and safety, no? Because the mura na siya kuan. I remember when I was listening to a talk about safety sa airports. The moment you go out of the house, you're actually exposing yourself to danger already. At least sa kuan, no, uncontrolled condition, because your own house is a controlled environment na kay control, but when you step on the street, uh, so you don't know what's going to happen to you, no, it's everything is beyond your control. So the longer you are on the street, so the longer you're exposed uh, danger. So murag paranoid kay na to ano. Pero mentality, pero that's the reality, no? In terms of health, so there were clubhouses featured mag on some parts mag-jogging ka and then mga stopover okay, nawala ako kanina. Um, at what point ko nawala? So,
Sa health, sir.
okay, let me go back to health. Um, so I mentioned about balik na lang dito no sa facilities and clubhouses. So lain-lain ko ano facilities na infinity pool. Doesn't have to be an infinity pool no. Children's playground, sports facilities, and the nature park and picnic grove, and then the fitness trail, which I mentioned earlier. Na it doesn't have to be uh, a big open space. It can even be along the road, no, the sidewalk converted into a fitness trail. And then landscaping and road design with trees and vegetations, not only in the open spaces. Um, ang, I mentioned also that when Hazel showed a picture of a good streetscape, um, so we should be more generous with the width of the road and the planting street and the sidewalk to achieve that. No, we should not be happy with just the minimum. So we should play around with that. No? Material recovery facility was mentioned and is part of health because basically, what do you do with your waste? No? So if you do not manage it, you do not have the facilities for it. Eventually, it will just be lying around. Okay, and it will contribute to the pollution. Okay, so we're not Japanese na ano, labay dyan. Uh, but if wala tayong mga facilities for this, so it does not help. No? Um, in aesthetics, so the theme should be incorporated everywhere. Um, okay, so I mentioned kanina about the Kishanta. So ang Zen was left to the architects to interpret. Okay, in your case, you're told to design the house, so you have to already interpret it. So it it should appear on the house design as well as everywhere else. No, so even to the point of street furnishings, like lampposts and benches and so on. No? And the common facilities like your clubhouse, and even in the design um, of your gate. In fact, first impression is the gate. The moment you enter there, you immediately see the theme. No? Um, Ang so far ang murag sa nag-present ang murag na ay very strong na same in terms of design kay katong Lindgren, no? Itong Scandinavian design. And then this is something like new thing for me, the row house glorified, no? Which is the crescent sa Pristina North. So, mo to na mention ako kanina na normally row house is considered the third class, but then murag gibali niya gitagaan niya og mas dakong importance pod, no? And then I think this is sa Kishanta also. There are parts na may open spaces sa likod sa mga balay. Okay? And that those parts actually are the unbuildable areas kay steep na siya kayo. Okay? So therefore murag wala gikuan. So murag open space lang puro vegetation. So if you find some unbuildable areas like na kay corner na acute ra kayo ang angle, and then murag di siya possible kung tangan pa nimo og mga setbacks, murag guardhouse na lang mabutang nimo nakaka-build. So yun na siya mahimong ko ano, yun na siya mahimong uh, sana for sale, no? Na saleable lot. So pwede na siya mahimong open space. And then that sense of pride, no, na pagsud nimo murag ganahan jud ka ba sa the whole design. So others nagbutang ko diri is presentation. Okay, so you saw how the subdivisions were presented in marketing. Okay, so ilahang site development plan, at least for those in my class, ang akong expectation is something like that, no? Ang lots do not show the houses, but then wag naka-color na lang siya kung asa diha ang kuan, ang single attached or duplex, and asa ang row house. And then ang lot numbers and then the area. Normally mo ang mga important na information sa kuan, sa lots. And then the roads should show which part is the roadway, which part is the sidewalk. Okay? And then if you can, pwede nimo ipakita ang mga trees, ganahan ka, kung dili gubot kayo na. So, that's, murag flat lang siya, no? So, in principle, um, ayaw jud buhatan ng murag i-copy paste nimo tanan model sa balay in a subdivision lot. Although I think you'll still have to do that later para sa inyong perspective. Pero kana, I think you need to make two models of your houses. One na puro shell lang, then the other one with the interiors. Then katong shell lang mo ito sa mga site development for the aerial perspective, and even the one, and even your, what do you call this, walkthrough. Okay, so walkthrough, so mo shift na lang ka, no, between models, then i-edit na lang nimo kung ganahan ka mo sulod sa balay. Wala man siguro na, otherwise sa paman. So next meeting you'll have to start the site programming na, no? Programming and site analysis. Okay, I hope this time murag nakuha ninyo ang site analysis na akong gitudlo last time, no? You can revisit the video there sa recording. I expect that there is the site site inventory, and then side by side with the site analysis. Okay, site inventory shows only the features, but the site analysis shows what you do with those features. Okay, whether they are the constraints or not, no? Minimum number of houses per type, it's up to you as long as you reach the ratio which was given. 40% kung siguro itong single detached, single at and then duplex is 30 and row house is 30. So For example, after una man jud mo plano ana sa road, okay? And then probably magkuan mo ana, magplano din mo sa lots, and then including ang facilities, ang open spaces. Then if you want to be more generous with the open spaces, okay, so that means lesser ang inyong kuan, no? Lesser ang inyong saleable. Pero sa saleable naman gud may kuan pod, no? Napod mo ratio na 30% ug 70%, no? 30 non-saleable, 70 saleable. So just in case mo gamay inyong saleable, kay mo prefer mo o mas dako na non-saleable. So you still maintain the 40, 30, 30 kanina na mention nato. And even if you introduced a saleable na commercial, so pag abot sa houses, you still maintain that, no? Even if gamay ang numbers, as long as the proportion is followed. So kana sa mga presentation wala tayong nakita kung giunsa nila ang public transportation, no? Kung magpadagan ba sila o tricycle sa sulod or dili. I'm not familiar sa Maryville if they allow it. Okay. So bahala na mo research. Kaya walay naka-research ana. So next meeting is the site dev, I mean the site analysis, and also some programming. What will happen is mo-post na lang ko, no? Kung saan mo set apart sa medium end versus high end. Actually, it's the cost of the houses. I think high end is murag 4 million up ang cost sa house. And then if, for example, ang cost for developing a house is like 35,000 per square meter minimum, so it can go up. So more or less makakuha ka o ano, pila ka square meters ang balay. That's why we decided na i-high end ni para dili na malibog kung about sa kuano sa cost sa mga houses. Otherwise provide pa mi sa inyo og costing just to prove na kuan siya, medium end siya or medium cost na housing. So which is more work. So kung i-open-ended nato, i-open market nato siya, so walay problema. Pagpatuyang mo og design, no? Doesn't matter how much it costs. So that should not be your problem anymore. Ang problema lang kung magpakita ka og design sa balay na medyo baratohon. So marag ma-question na, no? This is an open market housing development, and then nagpakita kag balay na unsa man ni mura man ay kuan lang. Mura man ay pang medium cost or even economic housing. So kana ang challenge. Okay, so wala mo that should not be a problem to you. Na. And then unsa pa man, can we ask for the recording sa mga last meeting? Yes. Na naman sure na ako. Sige, I'll post them after this. I'll post them after this. Okay. Okay, murag nawatan ko gamay og share sa recording kay murag magwalay mo tan-aw. Anyway, sige, I'll post them. Including this, actually, delayed akong pag-record ani kay at first sige ko na kinahanglan ba ko mag-record kay daghan man absent, I mean ano murag bahala na sila kung kinsa tong absent, but later on sige na lang kay there are some people who actually message me na dili sila carry for some valid reason, so I think we should just share. It said that to allot 20% for socialized housing but put it elsewhere. So dili na na included. That's why I said it. That's why it's mentioned elsewhere, no? Na dili diha na lote. But if this were a real project, so we will really have to if this were an architectural firm, then project nato na kamo ako mga interns. So I'll be asking you, okay, consider jud ni siya 20% asa unsaon nato ni pag-solve. If we have the lots like 32 hectares sa Pristina North, so that's not a problem. Although it would be a good challenge, I think one of the plates in the past, kung in the past no, before ko nag-leave, is ana no, may housing component, may socialized housing component, and the challenge is how to mix it with the open market na development. Kaya socialized, so the difference in class is really maklaro. So are they going to separate it? Are they going to merge it? Or sa ilang mga strategies? But kato na um, one one reason I'm a bit worried about this plate is that individual ni siya. Okay? Um, that's why we're trying to minimize as much as possible, minimize the requirements. Okay? Otherwise, mas nindot unta ni for group or at least partner, no? Because of the work involved. That's why I was worried about about those who have not yet um, may mga arrears sa ilahang requirements kay mag-file up ang work. Okay. So, what else? Sa pa question. Atong sa PICAS class, kasi na may question. Hopefully, dili mo conflict at tubag sa inyong maestro basig awayan ko nila. Whether 60-40 ang distribution sa non-saleable o saleable. Bali, ang saleable should be the higher one, no? 60%. I think pwede ra. Um, pero ang akong advice ana is murag ang kung makastick ka sa 30-70, although na kay open space na imo i-commercialize. So na kay murag supposedly non-saleable pero i-saleable nimo. I don't know, I wonder no kung makuha nimo yung pasabot. So for example, katusulti na commercial facilities, nakuan siya, marag i-part nimo siya sa open space or na kay open space na i-commercialize nimo. Pwede nimo sultion na kuan. This is a rentable. In Japan, I just remember now, what they do, I have not seen a subdivision in Japan. Murag kuan lang, no? Murag housing development lang na, murag zones lang siya. So, it's a housing development. Um, what what lot owners do is that their houses are small because Japanese are very minimalist, no? And so if they have another property beside it na ilaha, they convert it into a rentable parking space. Kay daghan problema mo dyan ng parking. In fact, kanina when you were presenting also, I was trying to imagine saan kaning parking no kung may mga parties ana. Anyway, so the parking is like open space pero rentable, which is commercial. So which is a saleable. Sana para dili malugi. For the 30% open space, does that include the setbacks already? Setbacks of the houses? No. Okay, of individual properties? No. Okay, each individual lots na siya sariling code for the setbacks. Okay, mo depend man na siya sa location, if it's interior lot or inside lot or corner lot, etc. etc. Okay. Um, so what it includes are the roads. Yes, Gene, mo niyang tubag sa imong pad. The non-saleable includes, which is 30%, includes the roads. Road right of way includes, of course, the sidewalk and planting strip. The facility for the multi-purpose center, okay, and then the parks and playgrounds. Kana sila. And then ang parks and playgrounds doesn't have to be one big park. Okay, it can be small pocket parks scattered all around. As long as kung i-total nimo ang mga lots, um, will come out siya as 30%. And also ang community center or multipurpose center in a high-end context is actually the clubhouse. Okay, and then it can come up with any configuration. So the clubhouse, of course, pwede po siya centralized or pwede po mo siya i-katag, no? Like, main clubhouse, but some facilities like ang tennis court is located in another area. But in terms of management, you manage yapon sa subdivision or sa homeowners association running the clubhouse. And then, for example, you have a pool but in another area. So it's a more complicated way, no? Since gamay ra atong facility, so maybe the centralized clubhouse, but then kuan, no? Pwede scattered na mga open spaces. Um, there's something na nauna na kanina, kalimot ko. Anyway, mo na siya. So I forgot. I just include this later kung remember ko. So open spaces that include setbacks already. Ang imong tennis court, for example, or the pool can be a saleable facility. Okay? Um, Pwede nimo manang ko ano, kung if you're worried about the percentage 30-70. The reason why I would rather you stick to the program tong 70-30 is that kuan man good, assuming nindot kanyong kuan trabaho, so and then mangayo man na, just I think this week is the design awards week, and then as of yesterday I actually uploaded a lot of kuan, no, of works design 3. Now, I cannot upload your work kung saan kanindot if it does not follow the program. Kay apil man dito ang koan, apil man dito ang sa pag-upload ang brief. And then if people read that and look at your work, mo tingala sila, oh, ano man na mas daghan man ni siya kuan ni man ni 70-30. And by the way, at least sa akong class, I will require them to submit the computation, the final computation. I now remember kung sa tunan lang ako kanina, no? Ang subdivision, everything is considered as lots. Pati ang road nimo is tawag na road lot. Okay? So I mentioned kanina na each property dapat na lot number and then area, kung sa yung area. In CAD, you can easily do that. No? Click lang kag polygon, close polygon, then area, magawas na siya. You should, in principle, you should also do the same with the road lot. In fact, the road lots are precisely labeled as road lot 1, road lot 2, road lot 3, ana. And then, ang mga open spaces are like lots also, lot number, ana. Pero of course, pag kuha ninyo, present ninyo later, color-coloran ninyo na morning open space. And then, ang area po niya, yung appear niya. So, dapat, ang atong kuhan, pag total anak tanan, mo equal jud siya og 10,700 something square meter, which is the total lot. No? And then, I'll be sharing the form with you, sa una pag-present, which is what subdivision developers also need from the architects, no? Kung na kay project na na dapat na na siya sa kilid ang kuan kay pangitaon nila ang computation kay mag-present ka na sa ilaha sa board meeting na mo ni among design mugawas man jud na siya na pangutana. So architect pila man ang percentage ani sa open space, pila man ang sa roads, pila man sa ana-ana, then magawas din ang calculator nila, no, kay kuan lagi ang profit dahil ng ilang kuanon ang taon, and then mag-discuss din na sila on how to sell it, ang pricing, etc. etc. And then if they want it priced na mahal kayo, then they tell you, oh architect, baligya na mo ni mahal jud ani ng ang cost. So kinahanglan siguro murag dungaga nato na imong design o kanang pampanindot pa jud na. So say mo ana ang mitabo, no? Or musulti sila na architect, I think kuan baratuhon na nato ni, so murag dindot na kayo na imong design, scale down nato na, so have to submit another design. So that's the reality there, no, in subdivision planning. So I'll share the forms with you, and then hopefully makuha na masabtan na ninyo, and you can ask me anytime kung sa any more questions. Alas 4 na. So anyway, I think you can ask me anytime kung napay mo kuan, dili mahabol na questions. So thank you very much for coming. Thank you for the audience also. And then definitely I'll share this kuan, this the Sigma magdugay gamay kay convert pa nako to para sa YouTube, no. Para maka-access ang uban without going to Canvas. So probably by the end of the day ma-upload na ko tanan videos. And so kadto lang, salamat kayo sa tanan. So I'll turn off the recording and then turn off my camera.